Good evening.
Good evening.
I have the pleasure of doing the sixth verse. It is finished. In the book of Job, the first chapter, the 12th verse, and the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he has is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Yeah, Satan went forth in the book of Job thinking it was finished. He punished Job. Job was sick for so long till his flesh fell from his bones. But Job himself knew that even though Satan was upon him, that it wasn't finished.
All right.
Because Job had faith in God.
Yeah.
No matter how much the people talked to him, even his wife told him, why don't you curse God and die? But not Job. Job said, you sound like those foolish women.
All right.
Job would not do that. He would not curse God and die. So Job was able to fulfill. He was able to give everything back that God or Satan had taken away from him. All his children and everything. God allowed him to have it all back.
Amen.
Then we look at the book of the book of Job, Judges. Judges, the 16th chapter, the 30th verse. And Samson said, let me do with the Palestines. And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slayed at his death were more than they which he had slain in his life. Now, Samson was a man that was very strong. The Palestinians, they fed him so badly. And once he got married, his wife kept asking him, where is all your strength coming from? And one day he decided, I'm going to tell her the truth. I'm going to tell her that my strength is within my head. So she allowed him to lay his head on his head and call the people in to cut his head off. Cut all his head off. Then Samson was blind. They blinded him because now he's weak because all his strength was gone. So then Samson came up and he went and they brought him in and said they want to see Samson fight one more time. So Samson being blind, he asked one of the helpers, said, please, can you let me lean upon the pillows? Can you show me where the pillows are? He put his left hand and his right hand on each pillow. And Samson bowed down and he asked God to give him strength one more time.
One more time.
One more time, give me strength. And with all that strength, Samson pushed, the whole house came down. For Samson, at that point, it was finished. He killed the Palestinians and all the lords that was there. It was finished. Then we go to John, the 19th chapter, the 30th verse. Here it says, when Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Well now, this is a different finish.
Right.
See, Jesus didn't just finish for himself. Jesus finished for you and I.
Right.
And everybody else's sin. So that we can come to him and ask him for forgiveness.
Amen.
Now he had to finish this because he was there at the beginning. For God said, let us make man in our image.
All right.
God didn't do it by himself. He said, let us make man in our image. So Jesus was there at the beginning. And now Jesus is here on earth. And he's saying it is finished. It is finished of all the works that he has done.
Amen.
No more sickness. No more crying.
Yeah.
No more death.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
It is finished. It's going to mean that you are in glory. Now we all know everybody's not going to glory. Some of us are going other places. So we're not all going to glory because they say there's a heaven and there's a hell. But Jesus said, if you believe in me, you shall have everlasting life. So if you want to have everlasting life, you must believe in Jesus Christ And when it's time that they say it is finished, God bless you, it is finished.
Amen.